This is Northern Light for Thursday, June 4th. Good morning. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. We join a bird walk in Lake Placid where organizers say the second annual Black Birders Week celebration is helping more people of color feel welcome in the outdoors.
It makes you realize that we are all connected. Whether bird or human, everything is interlinked, everything is interconnected. It just awakens something in you.
Also on the show, a foster dog in Ogdensburg is in the National Pet Lovers Choice Awards competition.
I think that his story shows that, even the underdog can win.
And we remember North Country musician Dan Duggan, who died last week at 69 years old.
All that's coming up on Northern Light. Stick with us. Northern Light is supported by the Bookstore Plus in Lake Placid, supplier of books, stationery, art supplies, and more with online shopping available. More at thebookstoreplus.com. And by St. Lawrence Nurseries, Potsdam, providing the North Country with cold, hardy fruit and nut trees for over 100 years. slngrow.com. This is Northern Light. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Top Democrats in Congress are cheering New York State lawmakers' moves to change the redistricting process. Legislators in Albany are taking steps to amend the state constitution to allow Democrats to draw a new congressional map for 2028. The change also removes restrictions on partisan gerrymandering. Congressman Joe Morelli is a Rochester Democrat. He says Republican-controlled states have redrawn their maps, and New York is responding.
We didn't start this fight, but we're going to finish it. And we'll do what we need to do. We continue to believe in independent redistricting, nonpartisan redistricting, but we're not going to do it. One state's not going to do it, and to the detriment of the people who live in the state.
Republicans and government watchdog groups say the amendment goes too far. State Senator George Borrello is a Republican from Chautauqua County.
You can blame it on whatever injustice you want. This is about rigging the system to stay in power, no matter how harmful your policies have been to the people of New York State, to the quality of life here.
GOP officials say they'll campaign against it when it's on the ballot next year. The amendment must be approved again by lawmakers in 2027 and would go to the ballot later that year.
Speed cameras are coming to more work zones across New York as part of the state budget approved by lawmakers last week. Samuel King with the New York Public News Network has more on where drivers will now see the cameras and what additional penalties could be on the way.
There are portable work zone cameras on roadways like the New York State Thruway or other high-speed expressways already. Now that technology can be deployed on all State Department of Transportation highways. After years of decline, crashes in work zones on the State Thruway surged last year to their highest level since 2020, resulting in dozens of injuries. State highways also recorded hundreds of crashes. Senate Transportation Committee Chairman Jeremy Cooney, a Rochester Democrat, says improving safety for workers is critical.
When we go out and ask them to do this work on the roads, whether it's on a state road or a local road, our workers need to feel safe. And unfortunately, they don't.
The Thruway Authority says they've seen a year-over-year decrease in average speeds in work zones since the cameras were installed, but still have issued hundreds of thousands of citations over the past 2 years. Cooney says he's hoping to get bills passed that would increase penalties for drivers who fail to move over in work zones and for drivers who are constant speeders through work zones. In Albany, I'm Samuel King for the New York Public News Network.
Efforts aimed at lowering ticket prices for concerts and sporting events appear to have stalled again in Albany. Lawmakers had sought to ban the sale of tickets for more than face value. They'd also wanted to cap the percentage of fees that ticketers and resale platforms can charge. Speaker Carl Hastie says it would be hard to squeeze in big changes before lawmakers leave Albany on Friday. So instead, lawmakers are poised to extend the state's current secondary ticket market regulations for another year. Senator James Skoufis, a Hudson Valley Democrat, says he understands but is disappointed.
Really, what we're all trying to do here is level the playing field for the millions of really frustrated fans that exist in the state that can't access their favorite artists and sports teams.
Skoufis says he's hopeful negotiations can continue after the session so legislation can be passed early next year.
The community college in Plattsburgh has a new president. The SUNY Board of Trustees appointed Ken Kennelly to the top post at Clinton Community College Tuesday. Kennelly has led the college for the last 2 years, first as administrator in charge and then as acting president. He oversaw Clinton's relocation to SUNY Plattsburgh's campus, which helped save the college from closure. Kennelly said in a statement that he's honored to lead Clinton into, quote, its next generation of service. His appointment is effective immediately.
Early summer is one of the busiest times of year for birds in the North Country. Migratory species have returned, nests are filling up, and birdsong is at its peak. That makes it a prime season for bird watchers. In Lake Placid, birders from around the Northeast recently gathered to celebrate Black Birders Week. It's part of a nationwide effort to make the outdoors more accessible and welcoming for people of color. David Escobar stopped by the event and brings us this story.
Our walk around John Brown Farm starts with silence. Then a faint call high in the bright green leaves. We're on the hunt for, what was it again?
A magnolia warbler.
That's Giselle Pemberton. She's a guide with the New York City Birding Alliance who's leading our tour. It's hard to see the bird making that ruckus, so Pemberton records the bird song using an app on her phone and comes up with a yellow and black bird, the magnolia warbler.
They're very small birds, but this one has, black streaks on its breast, black and white wings, and a gray head with a black eye mask, a white eye ring.
Pemberton is originally from Trinidad, but now lives in Brooklyn. She says she got into birding by walking around New York City parks.
I was looking for something to do, and Prospect Park had a bird walk. So I was like, I'll go, and that was it. I got hooked.
Pemberton says what started as a hobby soon became something more. These days, she leads walks of her own, introducing newcomers to the birds living right outside their doors.
And that's actually one of the great things about birding. You get to know the birds that are in your neighborhood all the time. You get to know what they sound like. With guiding, it's cool to show other people that. And with that experience, it's always a great feeling when people are like, oh my God, that's a X or that's a Y. And, it's pretty cool. And then from there, that's it. That's the start of a lifelong birder. Okay. Oh, wow. That was the symphony.
Pemberton's Walk is part of Black Birders Week, a national movement focused on increasing visibility and belonging in outdoor spaces. This is the second year the Adirondack Diversity Initiative has hosted an event in the region. Tamara Jolly is the group's community initiatives manager. She says that sense of belonging can make all the difference when people try a new outdoor activity.
There's this natural equalizer when we're in nature because it's a break. It's a step away from the other worries of life. And that joy to me is something I want to bring to everyone. You can dive into the silly and the nitty gritty and all the games we can play with trying to learn the bird calls and find the birds, but you're here. And that moment is you're not worried about all those other things, and that is priceless to me.
Back on the trail, Pemberton points out birds as they flash between trees.
Okay. Oh, you see, did you get it there in the binoculars?
We stop near a pond to investigate a speck of blue tucked behind a cluster of bushes. Deb Cheatham peers through her binoculars for a closer look.
What I'm seeing is a really vibrant male blue jay. He's kind of hopping back and forth. Everyone is just taking the moment to soak in the view because bluebirds are just, very, very beautiful. They're very common, but because they're so bright, it's always a treat to see them.
Cheatham is from Potsdam. She's an avid birder, but she says it's not an activity many other Black people can relate to, which can be isolating.
I've had experience where people kind of are surprised that I'm into things like this just because of how I look. And so then to be able to come around people who all look like me, people of color, and they're all enjoying this and I'm enjoying it with them and we're all just looking at the birds. Not only are we all enjoying this activity together, but we're all enjoying this activity with this shared experience of being a person of color in America.
Akilah Clark agrees. She's originally from Jamaica but lives in Lake Placid.
There's something different when you are surrounded with people that look like you, people that talk like you, people that act like you. Immediately you feel a sense of calm, a sense of welcomeness, a sense of camaraderie.
This is Clark's first time birding. She says slowing down and paying attention to her surroundings has changed the way she thinks about the outdoors.
It makes you realize that we are all connected. Whether bird or human, everything is interlinked, everything is interconnected. It just awakens something in you. There's no word that I can possibly say that can describe the feeling, but I'm just going to say spiritual.
Giselle Pemberton says she's always hoping to inspire new birders. But she says what's more important is showing people of color that they're welcome outdoors in the first place.
It helps to show people that everybody can do this. It's a space that anybody can be in, and you don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to make a certain amount of money. You just have to be there and do it.
All you need, Pemberton says, is a pair of binoculars and a little bit of patience. David Escobar, North Country Public Radio, Lake Placid.
David Escobar is a Report for America Corps member. He reports on diversity issues in the Adirondacks through a partnership between North Country Public Radio and the Adirondack Explorer. This is NCPR.
You're listening to Northern Light, only here on North Country Public Radio. It's 8:13. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Stick around, we'll have a remembrance of North Country folk musician Dan Duggan. The Paul Smith's College Vic is hosting a celebration of life and music jam for him tomorrow night.
That's coming up in just a few minutes, right here on Northern Light. Support for the station comes from Cronin's Golf Resort, a regional destination for golf, dining, and lodging in the southern Adirondacks. Details at croninsgolfresort.com. And from the Glenn and Carol Pearsall Adirondack Foundation, dedicated to improving the quality of life for year-round residents of the Adirondack Park. PearsallFoundation.org. We've been listening to music from Tim Ellifritz out of Johnsburg.
A foster dog in St. Lawrence County is competing in a national contest that raises money for animal shelters. Kara Chapman has more.
Ox is a Dogo Argentino mix, a muscular white dog with floppy ears and some spots. He was picked up as a stray in South Carolina. Back in February, he was just days away from being euthanized when Angela LaRock applied to foster him. LaRock, who lives in Ogdensburg, says his time at the shelter had made him skittish and nervous.
Now he's just a completely different dog. Everybody he meets, they're his friend. He does this happy whole body dance. He's a funny guy. He loves the kids. He loves going out and doing his walking every day. He loves toys.
LaRock recently entered Ox into the Pet Lovers' Choice Awards, a national contest that's billed as the People's Choice Awards for cats and dogs. He's currently in the semifinals at the state level. If he makes it to the top 3 in New York, he'll advance to nationals. The top pet in each state wins $3,500 and tickets to the Pet Lovers' Choice Awards in Los Angeles. The national winner gets $10,000. LaRock says if Ox makes it that far, she plans to use that money to start her own rescue shelter in the North Country. She also wants to help pet owners who struggle to pay their vet bills.
You know, you have a vet emergency and you can't afford that vet fee because something's happened in your life, or you're just struggling and you have to give up your animal because of that reason, but you're a good owner. You know, I want to be able to do something where I can hopefully help prevent more animals going into shelters when they don't need to.
LaRock is fostering Ox. That means he's still looking for his forever home. LaRock hopes the contest helps get him some exposure to find his permanent family. And she says the underdog story deserves to be shared.
A lot of us can kind of relate to being an underdog sometimes. You know, we all feel sometimes down in our luck. And Ox definitely was down on his luck. And I think that his story shows that, you know, even the underdog can win.
You can vote for Ox by going to PetLoversChoiceAwards.com and searching for his name among the New York dogs. Semifinal voting ends tonight. You can vote for free once every 12 hours or pay for additional votes. Those proceeds benefit the Best Friends Animal Society, which awards grants to shelters around the country. Kara Chapman, North Country Public Radio.
A man died in a four-wheeler crash in St. Lawrence County Tuesday night. Police say 72-year-old Norman Rafter was driving a 2018 Can-Am Outlander on Cassidy Road in the town of Russell. Rafter went off the road, hit a tree, and flipped over, getting pinned under the four-wheeler. St. Lawrence County Sheriff's deputies responded. They extricated Rafter. He wasn't breathing. Then they started providing life-saving measures. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation into the crash is ongoing.
Ogdensburg's International Airport is on track to set a record for the number of passengers boarded this year. According to the Watertown Daily Times, over 2,000 passengers were recorded in the first 4 months of 2026. In 2025, there were 33,000 for the whole year. Airport officials set an annual goal of at least 10,000 passengers to qualify for a $1 million federal aviation administration grant. Manager Charlie Geralt says the ease of access to Ottawa from Ogdensburg caused a spike in passengers in April. It led to one car rental company to add more cars to its fleet. The Daily Times also reports that Ogdensburg International passed its annual FAA inspection.
The town and village of Canton are updating their waterfront revitalization plan. It was first developed in 2018. Officials are looking for input from residents on the future of waterfront areas along the Grass and Oswegatchie rivers. According to North Country Now, the current plan emphasizes improving waterfront access, recreation, flood resilience, and future development. Potential projects in the revised plan include new public boat launches, park improvements, expanded trail connections, and protection of natural resources. Community members can review the plan and weigh in on its future by completing a survey online.
Senator Chuck Schumer is calling on the International Olympic Committee to add a sport to the women's competition for the 2030 Winter Games. Men have been competing in Nordic combined since the first Winter Olympics in 1924. It's the only sport in the Winter Olympics that doesn't allow women to compete. Nordic combined athletes are tested in cross-country skiing and ski jumping competitions. Lake Placid is one of the few places in the U.S. where athletes can train for the sport. Schumer says expanding women's Nordic combined to the Olympics could have a positive economic impact in the North Country. He says it could continue to grow the sport and bring athletes and competitions to the Adirondacks. According to NPR, the IOC is expected to make a decision about Nordic Combined's place in the Olympics this month at its annual meeting.
And one of New York City's most common birds is the black-crowned night heron. But ornithologists say that the loud wading bird could disappear from the Big Apple in 10 years without conservation efforts. Rosemary Misdary with the New York Public News Network has more.
New York City is home to the largest population of black-crowned night herons in the Northeast.
Black-crowned night heron are kind of like the quintessential New Yorker. They are these cool-looking birds that like to stay out late.
They're like little dinosaurs, and they'll chase you with their beak and try to go after you, so they're pretty feisty.
Dustin Partridge and Shannon Curley are avian ecologists at the New York City Bird Alliance. Every year, they survey the birds in the wetlands and islands around the city. Over the past 2 decades, they say the number of the red-eyed raptors has decreased by 55%. The cause of the decline is unknown, but there are theories.
These birds are facing climate change, loss of habitat. There's also an increase of mammalian predators.
like raccoons.
Some of the raccoons actually probably take the subway tracks in Jamaica Bay. The subway runs right through, so they have kind of a land bridge to get there. These islands are also prone to a lot of disturbance, boat traffic, and people coming to the islands, and potentially contaminants in their foraging areas.
Curley says conserving the long-legged fowl could save other species from potential extinction.
Black-crowned night herons are just not another bird species in the harbor. These are indicator species and telling us something about environmental health, and their decline may be an early indicator, early warning sign.
Ecologists say it's not too late to save the scrappy heron. The next step is to pinpoint the cause of their struggle and keep them thriving in New York City harbor. In New York City, I'm Rosemary Misderi for the New York Public News Network.
This is NCPR.
You're listening to Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio. It's 8:22. Good morning. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Stick around after the show for Bird Note coming up at 8:42. With our eyes to the skies, sunset in Ellenburg is at 8:37 tonight. And the moon, if you look up, is a waning gibbous at 84% of full.
Sunny skies are coming your way again today and be pretty warm out. Highs expected to be around 80 degrees, even hitting the upper 80s, almost 90 degrees for you folks in the Champlain Valley today. Another warm and sunny day is expected tomorrow, too, before some thunderstorms, the chance of thunderstorms and some light showers rolled in on Saturday. At last check, it was 68 degrees in Malone, 53 degrees in Racket Lake, 63 degrees in Glens Falls, and 57 degrees in Old Forge. Adirondack musician Dan Duggan died on Friday after suffering a stroke. He was 69 years old. Duggan played, shared, and taught traditional folk music in nearly every corner of the North Country for more than 4 decades. Duggan was born in Syracuse and graduated from SUNY Fredonia. And as a young adult, he found the instrument that shaped the rest of his life. The hammered dulcimer. It's kind of like a lap harp, but you play it with mallets. By the time he was 30, he won the National Hammered Dulcimer Championships, the first person to do it playing only original music. He eventually built them himself. Fellow North Country musician Klaus Meissner says he was a marvel.
That came to mind when I think about Dan was kids have those clear balls, and inside this ongoing dance of electricity. You see like sparks and arcs, and you know what I'm talking about? And Dan, to me, had a brain like that. It was just full of creative energy.
Duggan accompanied Meissner and his wife Lisa in their group, the Rustic Riders, and many other local musicians too. Henry Jankowitz, Tom Hodgson, John Kirk, Trish Miller, Roy Hurd, Fran Yardley, Jamie Savage. Most often, though, Duggan played with his wife, Peggy Lynn, and his longtime friend, Dan Berggren. Together, they hosted music and dance workshops at the Great Camp Sagamore to pass down traditional music to the next generation of Adirondack folk musicians. Here's fiddler Tyler DeZago talking with NCPR back in 2022 about their impact on his band.
We've all been able to learn some tunes and stories and songs from Dan Duggan and Dan Berggren and Peggy Lynn and those folks. Stories of people's lives and hardships are encapsulated in that music and preserved in that way. And I think it's an amazing way to tell the story and step into the past.
A pivotal period for Duggan was in the late 2000s. He was diagnosed with cancer in his head and neck. He talked to NCPR about it in 2009 when he was finally cancer-free.
This whole experience has certainly made music for me is even that much more special. You know, everything just is a little bit more acute, and you just sort of get this really great appreciation for every day.
The word dulcimer means sweet song. His friends say Duggan was like that. He was very kind and energetic. His joy was infectious, and he loved to bring people together, musician or not. Duggan hosted community social dances and called the dance steps for them, and led beginner music camps to teach grandparents to play with their grandkids. In one of his last Facebook posts, Duggan wrote, "For all our Adirondack friends, I'll be hosting an old-time jam. Pass on the word, the more the merrier. Hope to see you there." Klaus and Lisa Meissner again.
And that to me is what Dan was all about. It wasn't that he was playing to an audience. He was playing with an audience. That's what made it special. I mean, you come away from that just smiling, you know, even singing.
Or dancing.
Or dancing.
Community members are invited to a celebration of life for Duggan at the Paul Smith College Vic this Friday night from 5 to 9. We're going to go out on music from Duggan, Lynn, and Berggren. It's their cover of Simple Faith. In their album notes, they say that as Unitarians, this one meant a lot to them.
Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. There is no hell to fear, no judgment day drawing near. Trust that inner voice you hear every day. Life's not a goal or race, it's about heart and faith and living a life of grace every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. Trust is an open hand, making an honest stand, rooted here in the land every day. Living the mystery, seeking the harmony here between you and me every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every every day.
Simple Faith from Dan Duggan, Peggy Lynn, and Dan Berggren. Community members are invited to a celebration of life and a music jam for Duggan at the Paul Smith College Vic tomorrow night, Friday night from 5 to 9 p.m.
That's it for the show today. Stick around for news headlines from NPR just ahead.
I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Be well.
We rejoin news headlines from NPR.